They say hunting and fishing can be dated back more than 2 million years. Throughout the years, the historic angler and hunter has steadily evolved into the avid hunter and angler that we know and love today. Welcome to the Outdoor Defiance podcast. As you listen, you will hear comical stories, companies talking about their products, researchers talking about their research, and overall ways to help you become a better outdoorsman. Welcome to today's episode.
I don't know what episode this will be. This will be this week's video. We've been doing Team OD Thursdays, which means every Thursday we have a video out. This week we want to do a live because we haven't jumped on. It's been almost a month.
Yeah.
Maybe a little long, or maybe a little less. No, it had to be. I don't remember when we jumped on. But anyways, it's been a while. So we're gonna get on, talk to everyone, see everyone's season is going, seeing what what you're doing late season if you haven't tagged out, if you have any more trips coming up, a little bit of everything. So we're looking forward to hear from you guys. It's one of our favorite things to do is to be able to interact. So if you have a question, even if you think it could be stupid, don't worry, we'll answer it and we won't make you feel stupid.
I'll just tell you it's stupid later. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll DM you, but just kidding. No. So
Kidding.
Yeah, we have some people rolling in, some of our local favorites besides not this guy. He's one of our favorites, but the next guy. Zach Gajowski. Evening, fellers. Evening, Zach. Long time. I see you're long time no talk on here, but me and him talk quite a bit through Snapchat and all that. So now this guy, I don't really know who he is, but while we're here, there's some bowstring companies that are out here. And if you go look at Unbound, yeah, stay away. I'm just kidding. That's Nick. Nick's a great guy, makes a decent string. Lasts you a couple arrows, and you have to order some more. So check him out. But so I'm tagged out, so nothing on my end on deer hunting. I was gonna go shoot a doe, but then I decided, nah, I'll wait. So Gunnar, what are you doing? You have one tag in Oklahoma. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hunting a pretty good deer. Right now, he's very nocturnal. You've had him on camera before. Same kind of story. We're just trying to backtrack, figure out where he's coming from because he may slip up before season, but you can't necessarily count on that, I guess. So we're trying to kind of backtrack and try to catch him coming to and from food sources.
Right
now, because he's showing up late to food right now. He just is. Like, closest he's come was about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Before, just
mature deer.
Yeah. He's just not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. Just, you're just going to have to get after him. That's what we're doing right now. Just trying to figure out where he's coming from and go from there. We're not getting too crazy with it just because. But
it's cool. Like this time of year has been one of my favorites. Because sorry, I just got a text, but from someone on here. But the deer coming in this time of year, or when I always have a tag. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I have a tag for this time of year, it's always interesting because there's always like $1 or $2, that you find that you don't really have any, experience with all year. So it's like not only are you limited in days, now you got to figure out what they're doing, and you don't know if they're going to keep doing it because you don't know what deer it is. And that's kind of what that buck, he did that to me. I think last year. I haven't really looked into it. Have had a lot going on, so really haven't looked into it. But if it's the same one, he threw me off last year. I had like 6 days left, and he daylighted, and then I want to say it was like mid-afternoon on a warm day, and I was like, "What in the world are you doing, dude?" And then he disappeared. So it's like it's just cool to have those deer. Are you doing anything different hunting strategies than what you were a few weeks or say right as rut was tinkering off?
I would say focus is really, we're just trying to figure out, we kind of know where he's feeding. So kind of the same story, I guess. Where's the food? Instead of going, hey, where are the does at? Where are the does bedding? Let's find travel to the bedding and does and such.
Right.
which can be food at times. It's like now it's like, okay, we know where he's eating right now, but where is he bedding? I
Right.
have so then maybe I can get in between him because he's just getting there too late. I mean, I'm just trying right now to cut him off
Right.
from bedding to food. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're trying to do. Anyway, I just got a saddle, so may try to get a little western with that deal. So we'll see. Um,
It'd be perfect timing. He'll be coming in. You'll be like hanging backwards and upside down.
yeah, yeah.
That was me. Crack me up.
It's gonna be a learning curve on top of me hunting a, big old matured, big, smart deer. So
Yeah.
factors are not aligning, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get after it. And if it happens, it happens. If not, we have a big one to chase next year, hopefully. So
Yeah. Right. So are you is your main focus like are you into the season after him? Or I know I'm just saying this because I know you have a couple other mature deer elsewhere. This time of year, are you like trying to focus on one deer and not be sporadic, or what's your kind of goal there?
right now it's kind of shifted to him just because he's been consistent where he's feeding. These
Mhm.
other deer, like at our other places, we've got some mature deer in other places we could be hunting, but they feed in the same kind of areas, and we think we know kind of what they're doing, but they're not consistent enough to, like if he wasn't coming, then I'd be hunting this other deer. He's just a there's an old 8 point I could be hunting right now,
Right.
but he's not anywhere close to this deer. I mean, we're just being honest.
Right.
But so, I mean, we're kind of focusing efforts on this one right now. I, we've kind of set up to where I can hunt off and not get. Well, it's hard this time of year, as you know, because in the hunting the mornings, if you're
Yeah.
hunting food,
Absolutely.
and that's what they want right now is they're eating like crazy because they're dialed back. It's really hard to hunt in the mornings right now, but that's kind of when we're trying to because the moon phase, you know, we're trying to hunt in the mornings at times, and it's just not. You'll blow deer out of there, and it's like the one I'll go in the morning Saturday probably, and I'll just be sitting there just like sweating because I'm afraid I'm pushing this deer off of something or
Right.
whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of focused on this deer right now,
Um,
for the most part.
so I'm gonna read this real quick. Sorry, on Instagram, so every other channel has some agreement worked out where it will send the messages or comments to our platform except for Instagram. So I'm sorry if I missed anything over there, but Scent Thief said, "When does your season wrap up in Oklahoma?" Gunner, you have to know the date. I don't. I don't.
15th.
15th. Okay, that's what I thought was the 15th. I wasn't gonna say it and be wrong. So,
Yeah.
um, let me ask I have another question popped up before that. So, what's your so as you're going into season, and I'll answer this one too, but at the end of the season, are you gonna be like, oh well, that 4.5-year-old's looking better, or are you saying throughout the year you're staying disciplined enough to pass deer? Is there a deer that you're gonna shoot in the last few days of season that you wouldn't shoot during season?
No, well, no, not if they make it this late for me. If I've passed them a couple times, for me, if he's like I'm trying not to pass 5.5, 6.5 year old deer,
Right,
but if he's 5.5, 6.5, and I've passed him a couple times and he's fooled me, and I'm like, dang, he's really 5.5, 6.5 year old deer, then maybe. But if he's a 4.5 year old deer and I've passed him a couple times and it's the last week of season, yeah, I'm not gonna shoot him. But what are you looking at?
I think our Facebook just crashed.
Oh,
I'm gonna try this one more time. That's weird. All right, we're back on Facebook. Sorry, everyone. Um, so you said no, there's not a deer, or there's not a. You won't really bend what you want to do, or you won't bend like, oh, well, I passed that deer a couple of times, but man, he looks good to fill this tag.
If he's young, like if he's like a 4.5-year-old and younger deer, and I've passed him all year, I'm not shooting him right now. I'm not personally,
Mhm.
and that's I've went this far. He's got a week left.
Yeah,
Rifle season's over. Might as well see what he's got. And
yeah,
I'm not. I've never been the type of guy who just sits there and just. If I tag out, great, but I'm not sitting there like I gotta tag out.
yeah,
Like that's never been me anyway. So I'm just. And if he's fooled me all year, maybe I look at him again. I'm like, Dadgummit, that deer's 5. Then I may reconsider it.
yeah.
But or 6. But not if I know he's 4.5 and younger. Personally, me. Like I said, me.
Right. Yeah, no, I just kind of stay true. If I wouldn't shoot it,
Hmm.
be excited about it on the first day, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
just get a tag filled. Um, Now I will bend the rules, like, I might be like, well, I don't have anything. I'll go to public, and now if something in public walks by,
that's different. Yeah.
you know, I'll bend them there. Zach Gajewski on YouTube, he said, I don't think you guys do, but would you throw a Hail Mary and hunt over corn? Sorry, I had to read that slow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like hunt over. I mean, I can't say I don't. You know what I mean? Like this time of year, that's what they're gonna feed. It's legal here, so I'm gonna do it if if I needed to. Especially if I can't figure out where your deer is coming from. Now, if I can figure out where his deer is bedded and what he's using or what route he's using, yeah, absolutely, I'm gonna be hunting his route and try to get onto him in daylight because most of the big bucks this time of year, especially with
Yeah.
our weather getting hot, you know what I mean? They're gonna stay hidden and wait till 2 in the morning and come out. That's what they're doing. But will I hunt over corn? Yes, it's legal in Oklahoma. Um, there's I don't know why there's such a shame in that because I think there's plenty of people that I know that thought it, they haven't really hunted a lot. They get a place, they throw corn out, and they're like, "Well, I don't have a big one on camera." You're right. It's the corn isn't the magic ticket. Yeah, it helps. It brings the deer to an isolated area, but it's not a guaranteed, tag field. Or if that was the case, I would never end Oklahoma season with a tag in my pocket. And I've done that multiple. This is the only year I've ever tagged out in my life. So, but Gunnar, would you ever, uh, like, what's your thought on that?
If it's legal, I'm trying it. Like
Yeah,
I'll do different things. I mean, I've got cameras out right now with corn. You know, and if you're gonna throw corn out with the camera to see what's there, I mean, you got to put a stand up.
yeah,
I mean, you got to have that option.
yeah,
Or like be able to hunt off of it, deer coming to it. That's just, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well do that. I
right.
mean,
Yeah,
um, and if it's legal, yeah, I'll try it. I'll do all that stuff. Like you said though, like this deer, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to kill him hunting over this corn pile.
yeah,
I really don't. I think I'm gonna have to get lucky, really, honestly, because he's just not he's just not coming in on time, and so that's what I've been doing lately. Is just like I told you last night. I just went off and tried to find a route to and from and
yeah,
areas, and we think he might be headed to a wheat field
right.
at some point um, during the night, and so that's a thought in our mind as well. Just trying to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean,
But
like I said, it's not the ticket to success. People see the states you can bait in and see all these deer shot and see the videos, but they don't know in those videos, that guys have a huge parcel of land, are dumping out corn everywhere, and finally a buck will start using it, and then that's where they go hunt it. You try that on smaller parcels, like the average guy like us have to hunt, and it's like it just doesn't work. Like it does bring deer to isolated area to let you see what they are, but it's not a guaranteed filler, and that's what cracks me up when people talk about corn. Like Do I use it? Yeah, you should see the corn bill. But on the
Well,
flip side, I use it for nutritional reasons, and then everyone's like, "Oh, corn's not nutritional." But I mix in a bunch of stuff with it. So it's like I use corn because everyone else is gonna do. Well, they're gonna come eat the corn at my place. Well, now they're gonna get a bunch of, whatever I mix in with it. And then this time of year, like early season, it's like I have a little bit more corn in there, but by this time of year, it's like absolutely small traces of corn in my feeder. It's all stuff with fat, stuff they need to be able to go through the winter, which here, 70 degrees today, don't really need it. But also, my does are plump and look healthy, and that's what I want their fawns come out to be as healthy as can be.
I mean, if you don't, we've tried the whole no bait thing, and we've killed deer doing it. We have. We've killed big deer doing it. I killed my deer last year, him just running a trail. But everyone around you's baiting
Yeah.
for the most part. And that's just something, it's like anything else. It's a tool.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You can use it as a tool. I would not use it as a ride and die. And it can
Yeah.
work. Some guys kill a big deer over corn every year. But eventually, in my opinion, at some point, there's going to be a deer he wants to kill that he might not kill over that corn pile. 'Cause
Right.
it might be a deer and there's some deer that, this, Taylor, there's some deer that run around. They're like, I don't really want to be around whatever that, they
Yeah.
sometimes eat stuff, but like feeders sometimes spook them. It's a tool in your tool belt, but I wouldn't just live and die
Yeah.
by it.
No, it's funny you said that because I actually, I'm going to do kind of video of what I've learned over it. But it is going over, my experience with corn and why I have certain places I use spinners, why I have gravity feeders at some places, and why I put piles out. And I think that's cool comparison to see because you're right. There's deer that will not hit a spinner, and
No.
there's people that totally think that deer, if they have to grow up on a spinner to hit it, and I don't believe that fully. But there are some deer that are like, man, I'm staying away, and which is crazy. I mean, it's like I said, it all boils back to it's not the key to punch a tag. Does it help? Probably better, jumps up your odds a little bit, but there's better ways to hunt and have it there, like you said, and use as a tool. Zach Gowski said, I did this year because I just couldn't figure out these public landers. But Zach
You're
did
not.
what?
I was going to say you're not going to get slander from me and Taylor for saying that, so don't worry about commenting
But
about that.
no, I'm just saying, did
Yeah.
it make your odds better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to hear your side. And then he said, I normally don't use it. So I don't know if it's legal. Use it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's kind of like the whole $1 debate in Oklahoma. If you don't want to shoot, or if you don't think you should shoot $2 in Oklahoma, guess what? Don't shoot $2. Like shoot one and be done. But and that's whole different can of worms. I don't really want to go through. But okay, Zach said it did make them show some. But where was I going with that?
I mean, a good oak flat in forests can work the same way. You know what I mean? If you find out where your deer are feeding, whether you have corn or not, it can work in similar ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we got a place that's got persimmon thickets.
Yeah.
Maybe not anymore, but it used to. It had persimmon thickets on it, and we would see bucks just bouncing around them, just like a corn feeder. They would a corn feeder. If you find a good area of natural food, it can work in a similar way.
Yeah. Well, like our big food plots out at our place, we're one of them's probably 6, 7, maybe 8 acres.
Mhm.
If I had to guess, it'd probably be pushing that 7 and 8, and then the other one maybe 5 or 6 acres. And I can't tell you how many times I've been hunting that, and there's feeders around, and we never get a picture of a deer, or it never heads towards a feeder, but he's out on the field eating. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
this
not against
deer,
it. I'll use it if it helps, but I will say if I am using one, my favorite spot to hunt has a feeder on it, has a food plot on it, but it's also in a draw that like leads to a bunch of fingerling draws. So it's a natural travel route. So yeah, that spot's my favorite because I have everything in the world that you can dream of to be a good deer hunting spot right there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I use everything. That's a tool I have.
Well, I mean, like this deer that I'm currently hunting, never got a picture of him at that spinner. And he's walked the way he's coming in, he's walked close to it. And he's come up that what we call the Rocky Crossing. He's come up through there and down behind the cabin. Never got a picture of him walking by, nothing. Not once. Oh, I can't hear you now.
I was reading some old comments on our other live before it shut down. Um, that going back on the one, I said something about the one deer thing in Oklahoma. Like, if you don't agree with it, shoot one deer. But
Mhm.
you know what? Something I wanna know. How many of those guys have that are for Oklahoma BB1 deer have shot one buck and are still hunting? You know what I mean?
All of them.
Yeah. There's
I
no
that bow
way.
hunt. All of them that bow hunt are probably still hunting.
There's no way that they're like, oh, fine, we need to go to one buck. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's absolutely insane. We've talked about it. I don't really want to get on that subject tonight, but I also kind of like the comments to read there, like people that want one buck are the people that can't shoot one buck a year, anyways. And it's like I'm like, that kind of sounds like it could be true. I'm not going to say if it is or not. I don't want to hurt feelings, but so let me go back to Facebook. You're gonna hear some. Okay. Um, Daniel, is it Cowett? Cowett?
Mhm. Mhm.
He said, "You got your old dad, Steve Womack, locked in the closet so you don't shoot him." Talking about
He's
the
been
class
hunting him.
about.
He's been hunting him. He's hunting with that trad stuff, so we've had to get a little creative. He's every spot, most of the spots that we have set up to hunt either travel, food, bedding, whatever. We've slowly started integrating to where he can hunt with his trad out of it proficiently, if that makes sense. Like before, we were setting up for like 35 yard shots. And, now I got this virus thing set up. Now we're starting to set up for like 15-yard shots. I took Abby the other day to hunt a blind, and that big fork came out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was 5 feet from our face because it was set up in Dad's blind. So she's trying to draw back this brand new RS she got, and she's getting buck fever because one of the big 9 points came out, one that we were passing. He's big though. He's still big deer, biggest deer she's probably. And I told her she could shoot it, but she was like, "Well, I'm gonna shoot the fork, whatever." Okay. And so she went to go try to draw back, and she got right about here. And of course, there's like 15 does just running around everywhere, and one of them catches her. And she's trying to draw back,
Yeah.
but that's an example. Like he's starting to slowly, like in all the different places, he's either putting up another stand where he can hunt out of, or he's setting up stuff to where it's going to be, you know, in our grill, which is, I guess, fine with me because I'll figure it out. I'll shoot him before they get there. But I don't know. That's what he's doing. So he's hunting him. He'll hunt him this weekend. But
Kyle off Facebook, Kyle Knight, our homie, one of our members, he said, "Gunner, you look a lot older." He's talking about that picture I shared.
yeah,
Oh, geez, that was hilarious. I saw that and I was like, dude, I have to do that. And then
yeah.
Jake Gaylord on Instagram, what's up, buddy? He said, "I don't mind the $2, but the Oklahoma rifle season dates need to change." Now that's something I think it's
Mhm.
worth looking into.
I'm
Rather,
all about that too. I had a guy get on me the other day because I asked a question, and he's like, "I can't believe you want the $2 and you won't want to change the rifle." I'm like, I didn't even bring up the rifle dates. Like,
yeah,
we could talk about that. That's what people think whenever I shut down the $1 thing. Is they're like, "Well, you're probably the same guy that wants to keep rifle season November." I'm like, I am just realist. Would I love to see rifle season moved? Sure. Will a lot of people maybe be upset if they
Oh
move it after
yeah,
Thanksgiving? Yes.
yeah,
That's what I just say back to people is we're gonna have to deal with that side of it.
yeah, yeah.
But
You try
we
and
can
make everyone
try it.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, there's a lot of people that focus around their hunting around Thanksgiving, which
a lot. People come home, they hunt, their family land for that extended weekend because they'll take off a day before Thanksgiving or something, come home and hunt. And it's just like, yeah, we hunt it every year,
yeah,
but that
yeah.
is. But
But I'm also not. I mean, I'd rather give that up than the $2. And then I also said I like the idea of doing what we did with turkeys. Just do like $1 counties and but you can shoot $2 and um, $2 total, but $1 per county. And
mm,
because people like me and you, it's gonna hurt if we can only go to one because we have different counties. We hunt different public lands.
totally different areas.
And that's what I haven't yet to shoot public land buck in Oklahoma. And if it went to one, I would never probably step foot unless I knew where a giant was. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And that's just I don't know. I don't like that idea of going to one. I also think you could do something like, hey, one muzzleloader or one rifle, not one
I
and
like
one.
that too. I
There's
like
just
that
a
too.
bunch of things you can do. Now people are like, well, you need to shoot does and this and that, and you do. I mean, you do. But realistically, like you're talking about, people are gonna find a way around it. It's like I don't know what they're gonna do, but I wish people would have to shoot 2 does and go donate it. If you're not gonna eat them, go donate it, let them feed people that are in need. But I'm like, I wonder how many people are gonna take a picture of the old slickhead that got drilled by a freaking truck on Highway 15, you know what I mean? And just take
Yeah.
pictures and act like they checked her in. So I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff I think, if you're wanting it to be straight trophy, there's stuff you can do, but man, I don't know. It's the numbers are there. Oklahoma's herd is thriving.
Well, yeah, the biggest argument I hear uh, is for the $1 is, when we say something like, well, only like 14%, whatever that low number Dallas gave us on one of our podcasts of the people
Mhm.
reporting, they're like, well, how many people are actually reporting when they kill $2? How many people are going to report the $1
Yeah.
if they can only kill one? The same people aren't reporting the second one. Like, it's
Yeah, a
just
lot
gonna.
more 90-year-old grandpas will probably be shooting deer that haven't shot deer in 15 years.
I just think that I don't know. It may change drastically, but I just don't know if it will. We
Yeah.
don't know. It's
Uh,
science. Conservation is not in a vacuum. Everyone thinks that because it works here, it's going to work here. We don't know what's going to work here.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
and we're getting compared to states that have, like, historically giants.
And
You know
just
what I mean?
massive crop feed, like
Yeah, and I
Iowa,
was like and
Corn
they're
Belt, and yeah.
yeah, they have a lot more nutrition to get there. We
Oh
have
yeah.
I'd love to see the percentage of oaks and rolling hills that don't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a huge fight. Um, so we got several comments since we started that
Uh
side. I
oh.
knew we would. Uh,
Uh oh.
Another Okie on Instagram said many families only gun hunt and traditionally on Thanksgiving. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't.
Jake Gaylord said, I get it. It's messing with tradition, but it would save age class.
It's all good arguments. I mean, I wouldn't mind it moved just because of the type of hunter that I am, like what I want to target, whatnot, this and the other, that, this and
Yeah.
the other. But I understand, that a lot of people would be upset. I get that part of it. But
Yeah, but I still think, I mean, if we dive in the bag, and all got together and put our heads together and really thought there's something you can come up with. I don't think my whole theory is once you give up something, it's hard to get it back. So if we go to $1, let's say 100 years later, and if there's more of these PETA people fighting for no hunting, it's easier for them to shut down $1 and have no hunting than $2.
they're already
And,
shutting down mountain lion seasons in
right.
Colorado. And yeah.
And that's something I always think about. I'm like, my great grandchildren, hopefully my great great great, I don't ever have to think about it. Hopefully I'm
Mhm.
dust by then. But um, I just think there's things you can do and get around it. Yeah, you want to save age class, and I get that.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Got me now.
Yes, I got
I've
you.
never seen these issues. It just popped up and said you lost your mic. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I just feel like there's more people coming here filling their tags. Making sure they fill both their tags. I still think there's stuff we could do for out of staters. Give them $1, 2 does. I'm not saying make it more expensive, but go to a different state
Mhm.
and try to get that. Nebraska, I mean, that's over the counter. Get $1. Kansas, you have to draw one. There's no other state you can shoot $2 that I know of.
Right.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like Texas, but there's a reason why these Texas boys are coming here, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. He
Land
said,
down under.
I want deer camp again, and that's what we all need to get along. Yeah, but there's a new age, and I don't want to sound rude when I say this, but there's a new age of hunters. It's traditional hunters, and then there's the everything about size. And those people are never going to see eye to eye.
Never.
Never. Because one wants $1 and the other one wants Thanksgiving hunting. And it's like there's just got to be something we can do to all agree. But I think with the new times, I mean, it's just like, duck hunting. How many people are getting ticketed for dumping their ducks now? You hear about it. Guide companies. Back in the day, that's the way people survived on. So these old hunters are going to shoot a couple of ducks on these ponds that they, barely get permission on, going home, and then these other guide companies. I'm not saying all of them. I know someone's like, not all of them are bad. I know they're not all bad, but there's more people getting ticket just dumping ducks. That's because they wanted the picture in the moment and then throw them in the ditch and leave. So
Oh,
it's
look. Did you see Casey's comment?
on.
Maybe Facebook. I can read it if you. I just see
Yeah,
it.
read it. Read his name in the comment.
I'm gonna butcher his last name because I've never said it right. Casey Monholland. Yeah, maybe. He said you got a shout out from Roger Ragland yesterday, Gunner. I had to correct him on spelling. LOL Gunter. That's what he called me, I guess. Call me Gunter. It's okay, Roger. We forgive you.
I'll call him and tell him. Zach Gajowski said, I wish the old Oklahoma DNR would take it a bit easier on the old out-of-staters, drawing for public now and a large amount of fees in a 2-year span. Well, exactly, but my whole deal is we could still go to one tag. And that's why that's not really making it harder.
How much? How I don't know this answer. How far? How much more expensive are we than like Kansas? What are we at now for non-resident?
I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to look it up. Zach, how expensive are we? Zach will know. That's why we get him on here.
Yeah.
But then there's like $100 public access fee, maybe. But I thought that was just for OLAP.
Yeah, I don't. I think. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it
I
says
don't know though.
drawing for public now. I haven't heard that one yet.
I don't either, but it could be. I don't pay attention to that stuff because I have a lifetime and I'm a resident. It's just not.
But here's the bird on my shoulder. Zach, to come to Texas, we have to draw to hunt most of their public ground. He said, I believe it's $725. And is that you can hunt everything? Like you can hunt with archery, gun, and muzzleloader? Golly, excuse me. Or is that just for archery?
Hold on. That seems high.
No, it's somewhere in the 700s. I thought it was 750. But you're
I
still
know.
getting,
I wouldn't
you're
know.
still getting 2 buck tags.
That's a fair point. There it is. It's all about cost.
He said, I think this next year it's draw for public in Oklahoma. And then Tyler Yahtzee, he said, I think it should be for all. You know what?
Draw.
We have computers right in front of our face. Let me look up something.
I'm trying to find it on my phone, but you'll probably be quicker on your computer. I'll just Oklahoma non-resident, because they have to get a a hunting license and a tag right
I
here.
thought
In
they
this
could just
state.
buy the packet now and it covers everything.
I might be able to.
Just like with kids or anything, you buy one packet. Hunting. If someone knows, please put in the comments and we'll catch this. Okay, Jake, I want to read this real quick.
501.
Jake
non-
Gaylord said, "Agreed. Oklahoma is crazy diverse, so it would be hard to have a one size fit all." But I still think there's something we can do. I mean,
So it
all
says
right.
non-resident deer archery 501 for the tag. Includes season bag limit. So if you get an archery tag, it's pretty.
Well, he said that's per killing weight. So 725 is for gun. Oh, 725 for gun. Then 725 for bow. October till January 15th.
Or you could just be a cool guy and go bow only, Zach. I'm just saying. You save some money. Kidding. Joke. Kidding.
I mean, but it's like, I don't know. You know, people get mad at looking at this, but you are paying for something.
Well, if
By the way,
it's
real quick, Chad Brown, I saw your comment. It says, Taylor, you look fresh for no sleep. Hey, I have a great baby that sleeps 7 to 8 hours a night easily. So she's letting me look fresh and get on here.
annual
Zach said,
hunting,
hey, I only go bows, no guns. I'm pulling up my
why
calculator.
you
725.
I get 710, but there's got to be another fee.
What you
For
get
I
$2
would just
4
I would
does?
just- yeah. I was doing 501 and 209.
That's $120 per deer.
See? Hey, if you think about it that way, Zach,
We pay $300 and something to go to Kansas and have a buck tag and a doe tag.
yeah. It's more than 3. It's like in the 4s, pretty sure.
It's like $675, I think, total.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know.
It's
Make sure there's not.
Oh, you're saying per deer. Okay. I get
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
So
I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I still think. I mean, I don't know. I still think there's some. I'm not saying up the prices, but there's something.
Yeah, this is two mean residents getting at you right now, Zach.
No, I'm not getting at them. I'm just saying, not jack prices up, or I don't really necessarily like the draw for public. I think that's kind of silly. But
Keep giving us your money, Zach.
yeah, but we go across the Red River and we have to draw for public, and it's like, you know, I think that's a sad point where everything's going to eventually go to, which I don't understand because public's supposed to be public, right? But I still think limiting tags and I'm not saying up the price would help age.
Mhm.
So, you know, another fight is, well, we're not going to come there and shoot $2 and 4 does. That's crazy. Well, if you're paying for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. It sucks paying that much money, but my gosh. I've been going to Colorado.
Yeah. How much is like Iowa?
4. I'll look it up.
Well, I want to talk about Iowa because I've done some research on it. I don't know much about it as in my like non-resident.
So a buck tag is $348.50 plus the $131 hunting license and the $15 habitat fee,
So
according to AI overview, which could be wrong, I suppose.
right. Well, you know, that's but you got to wait years to get in there. So, yeah, and I want to bring this up.
For a bow, yeah.
Everyone wants to talk about $2 hurts this and that. Have you seen Iowa? Have you looked at Iowa? Anyone in here for residents? You know, a certain Iowa residents can shoot $4 a year.
I didn't know that.
You can start putting in, and I learned this from an Iowa resident. That's why there's a bunch of big game people that or big time, you know, filmers move up there. So it's like you can do, I forget, but you can like draw a special shotgun tag. You end up shooting four deer a year. And I'm not saying everyone does. And I think it's crazy if you shoot $4 off your place in a year, but it's like they're shoot hammers up there, and they still residents can shoot 2 there, but they can shoot up to 4 if they bend the rules. That's legal. It's legal bending the rules, but there's a way. Zach said, "Well, I'm jumping some comments." Tyler Yahtzee said, "Kind of silly, like how they wanted us to check in on public land. Now it's non-residents only, correct?"
So
I
Illinois is a $2 state too.
Illinois is $2. I think Missouri, which I don't know. I think Oklahoma's a little better than Missouri. Quit. And so I don't know.
Was the check-in on public land, wasn't that just to see what was being utilized? So they
Yeah,
might end up doing something with it later, I guess. But wasn't it kind of just I'm just checking in to see how many people used it that year?
that's kind of what they said, but I don't know how many people used it. And I think it is only non-residents. I don't think residents have to.
I think you're right.
I think I'm right. Hope I'm right.
Do you check in, Zach?
I think it's just public land, but like on corp land, I don't think you have to check in.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, Zach, did you check in? I'm gonna pull your records up, see where you've been hunting.
Yeah.
But no, he said Zach Gasky came back and said, "Fine, give me $1 and a doe and take it back to the 400 that was 2 years ago."
That's yeah, we'll do that.
400? Boy, you be paying 600 and it'll be fair. $1, 1 doe. 400, geez.
I think that's what it was.
It was.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think, like 350
Which we hadn't had a price hike in
since like the 80s,
a long time.
before I was even a thought.
So I hate it for people like Zach, I suppose, who come here all the time.
He's from Texas. I don't.
Yeah, but
I'm kidding.
we just weren't with the times as far as getting, money into the state.
Zagaski said, "We have to check in on the public land in Texas. I didn't have to there in Oklahoma. I think it's a certain areas. I don't remember the whole. I don't keep up with it because I only know the areas that I'm in. So now here's another topic that's been hot.
Oh, somebody asked a question.
Yeah, Cody Gill. He said the last 3 duck seasons have been terrible. You think that is only weather related? Gunner, you have any ducks this year?" So
No,
we'll answer the
I
first
haven't had
part.
any ducks.
We'll answer the first part. Do you think the last 3 duck seasons have been terrible due to weather?
I've got an interesting thing to talk about on this because I watched a documentary and I read some papers over, and it's interesting to think about. And tell me what you think about it. I don't know. We may have talked about this. So the mallard, the mallard genetic for the mallard ducks, which is a lot of what we used to just hammer, is the big groups of mallards that would come through here. That was our bread and butter. We'd be like, yeah, whatever. They're saying now that a very high percentage, I'm not sure, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was around over 60% of mallard genetics are being tainted with farm mallard genetics, which have shorter wings and aren't apt to migrate as well, thus maybe contributing on top of the weather to ducks not pushing down as far at times. I read that.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
I read that, and yeah,
looking back when I was a kid, I don't remember seeing as many mallards year round than I do now.
Mhm.
And and there's a lot of stuff with breeding, not getting much water, not making a nest, so they get their nest are rated more, and all that. But I don't know, dude. I also want to look at what were the hunters when I started versus what they are now. There was not a guide service around, other than maybe 1 or 2. I didn't even know that was I didn't know that was a thing. I'm like, people will pay you to duck hunt?
How many guide services were around when I started hunting with you? I know there was
And that's
some,
what I'm saying. And then
but it wasn't
5
like
years
it
in,
was.
6 years in, maybe more. I'm trying to think when I no, it was way longer than that. Jeez. It's like 8 or 9 seasons in, I meet you, and we're still killing. You know what I mean? We're still hammering. But from the time when I really got into it to when you got into it with me, there was, we could already name the big ones around here then,
Mhm.
and now
Yeah.
we can name them plus 10 more.
Yeah.
So it's like
Whatever they're called now. Right.
yeah. So it's like it's just I don't know. I wanna know how many were hunted then versus now. I think I've also heard things about windmills pushing them around.
Uh-huh.
Um, also the food sources. I mean, there's a lot of river bottom ground been turned into fescue ground. So
Uh-huh.
why, and you look back in the research, a duck will remember where its route is. So why would it keep coming to a spot if there's no food there? You know what I mean? It's gonna find food, and
Mhm.
it's kinda like a hummingbird. It has its stops, and, it's what I read a long time ago, and, it's like, well, yeah, why would they not? Why would they skip across Oklahoma, go to Louisiana, where all the flooded rice fields are? Yeah, everyone. I mean, it's all around food, and if we don't have it, they're not going to be here. And my grandpa talks about back in the day, um, and he was not a duck hunter, but he's huge into science and animals. And he said back in the day there was a shift of the flyaway, and, there was, like, for sure a year, but it might have been 2 years, that there was not a single duck that really migrated through Oklahoma for a year or 2. He said it went from, like, seeing a bunch to, like, almost nothing, and, maybe that's something we're seeing. Maybe we're seeing a shift, you know what I mean? Maybe and, I go back to windmills because 'cause they're right in the areas that we used to hunt a lot, and now we're not seeing anything there, so I'm like, "Is that a factor?" And that's just how our mind is, and
Mhm.
you gotta point at something, right? So I don't know. I think there's just a bunch of factors. A bunch of people started hunting them. The numbers aren't. We was it 2013 or 14? We saw record hatch numbers,
Uh-huh. And
and
then
and then
yeah.
since then just plummeted.
Well, if you remember, 19 was phenomenal.
Yeah,
And then after 19, it slowly declined. We still had good hunts, but then like this year's kind of accumulated. Me and you had one good hunt last year.
yeah. The last day.
One. And this year we have not had one. Not one. And I've
And
scouted.
another thing I want to think about, like maybe ducks are evolving like every other animal does. Maybe they're like, we don't have to freaking migrate so far north to survive because of weather. You know what I mean? So they
Mhm.
might not be making it down as much or as in numbers like they used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like you go back, talk to your family, your grandpas and all that, and talk about, back in your time, what wasn't around here. We hear the deer stories. We hear and it's like no quail when we were growing up. Now we're seeing a little bit of quail. More here recently than I've seen in years, I think. But it's like, I wonder if ducks are gonna be our story. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That
I
sucks.
used to we used to hunt the same pond for a month straight and limit out with a 4 to 5 man every weekend,
Yeah.
and now it's like, it just blows my mind.
We were disappointed when we pulled up. If you remember right, one of your spots.
Mm,
We'd pull up there, we would look all day, and then we'd be like, "Well, we know this one's gonna have birds on it." So we'd pull up and be like, "Heck yeah, we knew it," high-fiving.
yeah,
If that didn't happen, we were like, "What? That's weird."
yeah.
"That's weird, there's no birds on this pond." But, um, yeah, duck rut must be slow this year.
Sam Kreuzberg, our homies,
Yeah.
duck rut must be slow this year. Yeah, it's been slow for about 3.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it's an accumulation of a lot of different things.
Mhm.
Weather hadn't been great, which 2 years ago when it was good, remember that big blast we had? We had birds kinda come through there late
Yeah.
January, but we haven't even gotten close to something like that yet.
I don't birds are just weird. All
Yeah.
if, you talk about turkeys. Turkeys vanished for a long time, and they're just now, we're seeing good hatches. You talk about the prairie chicken, they're still gone, but maybe one day. But, I've seen people talk about them.
Mhm.
Quail, they did it. Maybe ducks are doing it. You know what I mean? Um, there was another. Oh, lessers. People didn't know anything about a lesser for a long time, and now for years that's what people. Now everyone goes out there and hammers them.
Except us.
Yeah, I hate lessers.
We can kill big geese.
I hate geese. I hate lessers.
Lessers kind of give us the.
I become a full-time fisherman.
They give us the figurative bird.
Yeah. Sam Kreuzberg said, "Gunner, when are you gonna get a pack of rabbit dogs?"
I want some. I do. Don't tempt me, because Abby over here actually agreed to it. Once these two dogs that we have move on to the heaven of dogs,
Greater pastures.
yeah, the greater, yeah, we get to explore that option. Okay. And I'm not going to be very good rabbit dog dad, because they're going to probably be too soft. They'll be, how I am with dogs, Taylor. I just literally, I'm like a pluff ball. I just lay down with them. I lay flat on the floor. Like, it's not, yeah. That's why Boone is how he is. He's just he's soft. like Oakley, when I come over, Oakley knows who to walk up to, because I'll sit there on Oakley's chair with her for like 2 hours. Just pet her. So that's me. I will attempt, but they'll be soft. They will be.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's one dog you could probably make soft. They're just chasing a rabbit in circle off instinct.
It's a fair point. And yeah. And then, yeah.
You just can't get them fat. We saw the one fat dog Sam had.
When they get to a certain age, you just have to just let them carry up the caboose, not get caught in a snare. That was terrifying.
Yeah. We
got him out of there.
A handful of times with Sam, and it's been some crazy stories happening. I remember his dog, was it Grandpa or Gramps, whatever he called it?
It's like Doc.
Yeah. He wanted to. One day we were just walking, it was snowy. He's like behind the pack, and he was old. I mean, and heck, he hunted till the day he died. And I remember looking back and I was like, "Hey Sam, check out Doc." I think it's Doc. I don't know. Sam, if you're on here, correct me. And I said, "Sam, check out your dog." And he was back there just moving all the snow under this bush. It was just going to make him a house there. And I said, "I think he's about to just croak over. He's going to make him a little nest and croak over." And we ended up just hauling him back. And but heck, he hunted till the day he fell over. And I want to say he was 13 plus. So
yeah.
He said old Doc. So yeah, he was once in a lifetime rabbit dog. Half of an ear, other ear split in half.
Did he get attacked by one of his dogs too, like in the kennel? So you had to figure out how to separate them.
Yeah.
He just was just like trying to die.
And he's one of those things that karma was against him.
Ran into the snare. We ran over there and we were just like fighting against him. Well, I was like, that dog is done. And then we cut him out of there and he's like, "I'm fine."
And then starts running again.
He's just like, "I'm cool. We're good. Puke and rally." Yeah, that was nuts.
So on Instagram, which we just talked about this, I think I'm delayed to read this. He said, "Y'all don't think the amount of people that hunt water or fields as soon as they see 10 to 100 birds accumulate rather than less hunters knowing about the feed/pond and letting a place accumulate more birds has anything to do with it?" Well, that's what sucks. It's Breck Cherry on Instagram. That's what sucks, though. If I see 100 birds, we're going to go out and we're going to have a good hunt. And that's what it's gone to, because we don't want to pay what you have to pay to go get one of those, the next step up ponds. So we see 100 birds, we're going to get 3 or 4 guys together and go have fun. And but it's just, that probably doesn't help, doesn't let them accumulate. But I also, on my mind, where some of our spots are, there's water everywhere. So if they're not on your pond, technically waiting to accumulate, they should be here and there, and they're not here and there. There's be 20 birds on a pond. You go by 20 other ponds in the area, and there's maybe 2 on them. So, back in the day, you'd go by them, there'd be 20 to 30 everywhere and a couple hundred on one pond.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing too. So I don't know. It's a huge debate on Facebook. and it's a lot of research that needs to be done, and then it's a lot of people, like, oh, we need to, non-researchers, basically Google researchers like myself on some issues, fighting back. So I don't know. We got to figure something out. It's kind of like turkeys. We waited till the turkeys almost disappeared to find something out. We're about to get an answer, right? And now they're ticking back up. And it's like, well, maybe we should stay ahead of the game versus wait until they're gone.
So we're doing mule deer right now.
Yeah.
We decided we just now decided, well, we ought to do a little bit of research on local mule deer population.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I'm
The
glad
the only thing we don't do that on is wolves. We're just like, let's bring them back.
let's just bring them back.
We'll make them. We'll make them.
They've been gone for 200 years.
Yeah.
Out of the ecosystem, it's evolved without wolves, but we're gonna throw them back in there.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, but we don't do it. We don't. That crosses the line with everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. Here's a good. Sam said it is old Doc, and then before we get to your question, Zach, William Bodie said, "Good evening, good evening. Long time no see, sir. Hope you are smashing some hogs."
I think Dad just bought something from him recently. He can't go without buying something from William very long.
Yeah. So Zach Gowski always has good questions. He came and said, "What did you guys learn this year that will make you a better hunter next year?" Gunner, you go first.
I don't know.
Want me to go first? I got a good one.
Yeah.
So I've preached about learning how to hunt deer. I think that's something you're going to have to keep doing because I think deer are going to get smarter with pressure. And so this year, I did something on one of my favorite spots, and I completely hung a new stand and got different access. And it made me capitalize on the biggest buck that I shot this year. And I think I still get comfortable in spots. I'm the one that, like, I find where deer are, I'll go hunt them. This spot, I don't know why I never did. And it was a small adjustment. I moved 200 yards and made it where there was a certain wind, I could only hunt that spot, and it made my other spot bad. And it made me capitalize on the opportunity. So I think that's something I need to remember every year is, like, don't get comfortable. You're hunting. You're not sitting. You're not just sitting here and waiting. You're hunting. Use your instincts. Your cell cameras and your corn pals can only tell you a little bit. Use your instincts. Hunt. And I watched this deer do something a couple times, and I adjusted to that, and then I capitalized on it. And I think that goes back to the year before. I'm pretty sure a deer knew what I was doing, and finally I outsmarted him somehow. I don't know if I showed up early or what, and I capitalized on it. And it's like, you think about that and you're like, why am I still doing this? Why am I? You're getting comfortable in something. It's always like, in my mind, it's, well, if I go sit there, what if I get a picture of him over here? Well, I don't have a camera where I think he's coming from. So how many times am I sitting over there and he's daylighting there, and then he's in front of my camera after shooting light? You know what I mean? So I definitely get away from being comfortable, making adjustments, hunt sign. I think that's something else that kind of people forget. They hunt cameras and not sign. And that this deer this year taught me a lot about sign. I was seeing scrapes reworked and big O scrapes, big O rubs, but wasn't getting pictures that often. And when I shot him, he did not go in front of the camera. So I'm like, well, how many times did he do that? You know what I mean? So I definitely think don't get comfortable is huge. Go to sign. And then my third thing is I don't know how to word this, but be willing to know when to back out. And I go with that with a couple different reasons. There was multiple times when I hunted the deer, I didn't really talk in the story that I would have a picture of them when I would pull in the gate. And mind you, the place that I hunt is over an hour from my driveway, where that big deer was. And I would get at the gate and I would get a picture of him in the area. I would not go in because I was scared to bust him. And that's something I would never do. Never in my life would I have probably ever done that. Or I would go hunt somewhere else and hope he'd come back, through. So definitely know when to leave, any questionable wind, get out of there. Even if you have to think about, will this hurt me? Get out of there. So those are three things I kind of reassured myself this year that next year, I hope I'll be a better hunter and do. So, you have anything else?
So I guess when I went to McAllister, I don't know. I'd always been successful doing A, B, or C, and there I tried a few different things. Like, I guess don't be afraid to try something. It's okay if you go sit somewhere, and I wouldn't give up on it either. Like, don't don't have an idea like, man, I got to go try to figure out where this buck is bedding. I'm going to sit in between where I think he's going. Don't get discouraged if you go sit there one time and don't see a deer. You know, give it some time. In McAllister, I set up, and that first morning I didn't see a deer. I was like, oh boy, maybe I'm just. And all they talk about in McAllister is like, oh man, there's big deer everywhere. You're gonna see big deer everywhere. You're just not gonna get a shot off what all of them, what this, that, and the other. And I had all fresh sign all around me, and I was like, you know, I know there's deer coming through here. Just when. And I ended up getting on deer. I didn't kill one, but I learned a lot about the area. I tried different things. Don't be afraid to try things. Like, I kind of screwed up on my drag rag this year, and it kind of got me to bind, but it worked for the most part. I don't know. I would say just trust your gut on stuff, and don't be afraid to try something different. Don't be, like you just said, don't be afraid to go hang up a stand and just go try something. And if you don't see, see what you're wanting to see, but you got fresh shine there, don't just give up on it.
Yeah.
Killing a big deer sometimes means that's the only deer you see that day is that big deer.
It only takes one.
You may not see all the does in your area. You may not get to look at deer all day. And then 10 minutes before light, that sucker walks out right where you were, because he's leaving his bedding at that time. And, it just happens. So trust your gut, get after it, have some fun because it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, another thing I think will make me a better hunter is, I went and shot those shot competitions, and they taught me, not competitions, just shoots. We made it a friendly competition, and I definitely learned a lot about being an archer there. And I think
Mhm.
that's something you need to do is, when you think you know your equipment, you don't. Like, keep pushing yourself, keep shooting your gun. And when I went to the competition, some of those shots where you had to use a hinge release, and if you hit certain target, you got put in for the entry, and and I did. I pulled that back when I finally learned how a hinge release worked. I slung it. I got put in. I thought I was master kingpin with the hinge release, so I go buy one because that's what everyone tells me I need to do. So I went and bought one, and I'm shooting. I shoot good. I shoot good, and then I just absolutely do something stupid and miss the target. Well, there went some confidence. Shoot good, shoot 4 or 5 good, do something, hit 6 inches high. There went some confidence. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like I never really got confident with that piece of equipment, but everyone in the back of my head was telling me, "You need to shoot that. It's a lot easier than this. It's a lot easier than that." And I even went and told some of my friends about the hinge release, and they got them. Well, um, and that's and I'm not just talking down the hinge. Like, you just gotta learn your equipment. And so in middle of season, I shot a doe, put a good shot on her, didn't find her. You know what I mean? Hinge released. Didn't so my confidence was down. Well, the year before I learned confidence is key in your equipment. So I went back, grabbed my thumb release, started shooting arrows. I was all set and tighter on my groups, like super real tight on the groups. Well, the hinge release taught me a lot about shooting. It taught me go through the motions. When you're ready, you're going, you're pulling through. There's just a lot you're doing that you're not thinking about with a thumb release. Like, oh, shoot, shoot. With hand release, you kind of got to be ready because you're not really sure when that thing goes off, especially if you have it light like I did. Well, I realized that hand release taught me a lot about my thumb release and made me a better shooter at that. Well, in the video of that 10-pointer, I'm using my elbow to bump my camera around to get on him while I'm on full draw. I tried out the hinge release as a new guy. I'm sure I would have soared that arrow over his back, but I knew that thumb release. So definitely have confidence in your equipment. If you like something, don't listen to what someone else said is better. If you're still shooting a 2013 bow and can absolutely drill a target wherever you want to aim, the new bow might not be better. And then also you gotta know your equipment, like Sam said here. Don't let your hinge go because it will break a lot of stuff on your bow, and you got to go replace it or get a new bow. And that was from Sam's mistake, not mine. So you gotta know your equipment, gotta understand it. Off season isn't made to sit around and think about fishing. It's made to get ready for this season and learn your equipment the best you can. So I think that's something too that's going to help me, or is already has helped me. I mean, from last year's bow to what I have this year, totally different, total different shooter.
Yeah.
Even from our first shot event with that crappy sight I had to what I have now, different shooter. So definitely know your equipment. I think that'll make me a better hunter for like years to come. We got a bunch of comments.
Ooh.
Zach said, "Have y'all been seeing the elk coming out of Fort Sill?" Yeah. Controlled environment will always grow big things.
Well
Yeah.
said.
So, I mean, it's true. So, yeah, Oklahoma has some giant elk in it, but it's a controlled environment. So, giants there, you need to listen to the Army to hunt there or be ready to run from green jeans. And I don't suggest that option. But hey, whatever suits you.
It used to be fast.
Yeah. But there's other areas too in Oklahoma that are that big.
We've seen them. There's
Well, people are just assuming now that everything from every elk they see is shot from Fort Sill. It's not.
Oh, there's some big elk in the state.
I mean, we get a lot of, I don't know about a lot, but we get a big number of elk pushed down from Colorado if they have a rough year, New Mexico. So yeah, we have elk. But yeah, definitely there's some absolute hammers shot out there. The new state records, I think, non-typical and typical this year were reached. However, I do want to say I do know a lot of, shouldn't say a lot, but I know a handful of elk that were shot that would have been records, but people didn't want everyone to know that we had big elk here, so they didn't put it in the books. So
yeah, and we have such strenuous, like we have like 3 elk counties.
Yeah,
like counties where you can shoot 3 bulls. In those counties, we've seen them.
Yeah,
They get big because they get old.
Is it Emery?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try that last name. I'm sorry.
Lemunion.
There it is. He said McAllister is a different experience altogether. They've heard every call, good and bad, and smelled every scent.
I should have shot 2 bucks. I just messed up. Like I messed up my drag rag. I came into the wrong clearing and just had to go to my blind a certain way. And if I would have done what I intended to do, he did exactly.
Yeah.
I just went, did exactly what I wanted him to do. Other than like, that was my fault. And then another time, if I had a saddle, I'd kill a deer.
Yeah.
I was in a big old blind and they got close, but they didn't get trad close. And they were like, that's a big old square cedar tree,
Yeah.
But I was on deer. I told you, I saw a bunch of deer. I really did. I had a really good hunt. It was hot. It was like 80 degrees. And a lot of deer when we went seemed to be locked down. There were some moving, but it was a fun hunt. It really is. And you're right. They've heard everything. I heard so many people rattling antlers. It was just like, it was like an army. And I rattled some too. I actually rattled a buck in just because when I had noticed deer moving. So I was like, I'm just going to rattle. What the heck? Maybe mine's better than that, guys. And I did rattle one in. The only scent that I do, I did make a couple mock scrapes just to, whatever. And then I do like dough and heat because it was November 7th through the 9th.
You gotta try everything.
Yeah, you're gonna try it.
Make a buffet out there.
Give them a chance to,
Do you want to
get
scrape? Do
something.
you want to smell a dough and heat?
Yeah, something. And I saw a deer. I had $2. I probably should have shot. I mean, but I didn't. And if I had a saddle, I probably kill at least one of them.
Yeah,
For sure. If I could hit it, that's
you
another.
would have shot at one at least.
I would have shot at one.
Zagowski said saddle's the only way to go to be mobile.
I've got one now.
And then back on Instagram, Breck Cherry, he said, same would happen with our deer if they could get old.
What is that referring to?
When we talked about elk, how it's controlled. But there's no way Oklahoma can get as controlled as Fort Sill as a whole. So if you do, I mean, we're all going to have to learn. We're all going to have to put in for a drawing. So, but yeah,
and when our deer get old, they get big. They do. They already do. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things I think we could look at to do, and that's what we get on here, and I can say what I think. 5 people can say what they think, and we can all fight about it. But there's something we can do, and I think if we all give a little bit, but not too much, then we could figure it out. But the fact that everyone takes their opinion to heart, and it needs to be a scientific opinion, then everyone gets hurt. So it's like, I don't know. I see age. I've also shot a lot of bucks. I think a lot of people are forgetting genetic wise what our deer in Oklahoma are supposed to be. And I think they're still looking at Iowa and then looking at numbers. I saw a thing. This is something funny I'm going to bring up. I saw a thing on Facebook. It was something about the amount of Boone and Crockett deer shot in the last like 10 years or 5 years. And Oklahoma was like at the bottom. And it was like 60, I think. And I started laughing. I'm like, I know a lot of people that have shot Boone and Crockett's and aren't going to put them in the book. I'm not going to put mine in the book this year. And it's like in the last 10 years, if it's 60, I know at least 10 or 11, and people are like, well, prove it. I'm just telling you, I promise I know 10 or 11 deer that weren't put in there. And that's the people I know. If you believe that thing was true, that everyone would be in the books, go online and just look at what people say about being in the books. They don't care.
Well, I made that comment, and
it's just funny. I don't know. It's like I hate reading that stuff because it's like the one side that's going to be for it is going to push that stuff, and I'm like, you really think in 10 years that would be less than 6 Boone and Crockett deer shot in a year?
It's not true.
Yeah, I know of more than 6 this year that were shot.
Yeah.
So it just blows my mind. Don't fall in the loop. Do a little bit of reading. One buck is not the fix all. There's a lot of states that people think it's $1, but it's $1 resident, but not $1 non-resident, but not $1 resident. So I think like I said, I think we could all find something. Yes, you have to get age to get big deer. And I think that's something we're not seeing as much because I think people are filling their tags wanting to get the big deer, but I also think, let me rephrase that. I think people are shooting deer to get their tags filled versus pass. And I think that's an issue too. And I just don't know what the fix all is. I don't think there is one, honestly, but I think there's things we can try. But I don't know. Maybe we all go back to deer or meat and get back to where we were. But
first buck I see,
yeah,
be spike every day.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, deer for meat. I eat every deer I eat, or every deer I shoot, I eat. Might be 90% jerky, but by God,
everything I kill, I eat unless it's okay. I don't eat a coyote. I'm sorry,
or bobcat or beaver.
I would try a beaver.
There's some people in this chat.
Would I say I would like it? I don't know, but I would try a beaver. But yeah, like they can knock hunting all they want. I eat everything. I
Right.
mean, eh,
William Bodie said, I was after a real big buck this year. I had him at 275 yards with muzzleloader season. Never seen him in person again.
I see him
Biggest,
as
yeah. And he said the biggest I've ever chased. Did he get shot, William? I, I haven't talked to you since I think like first week of rifle.
he ain't kidding. It's a big deer. If you had a smokeless muzzleloader, you could have killed him too.
Yeah. Zach Gowski said no regrets, but anything you would change about this year? Me, absolutely not. Like the 11 months out of 12 of this year were rock solid, and then the last one really kicked me in the place you don't be kicked in. But the 11 months, phenomenal year. The only thing better this year that I would change would get to shoot a big one in Kansas. I was on them, but I had a death there, and I came back. So I really am not really upset about that. But other than that, no, there is nothing this deer season I would change. So I'm the worst guy to ask on that one.
I wish I would have taken a saddle to McAllister. That's about it. Just so I would have known. I would have loved to have harvested a buck in McAllister. That I was close. But other than that, it's been a good year. I mean, hadn't had a buck that got me real excited until lately for my second deer. But I love to hunt so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a good year, man. I had fun. You had a really good year, so that was fun. I haven't got to see the 10-point in person, but I will at some point. But I got to see your first deer, and he's a tank. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I got to come help you, I guess. But
Yeah,
no,
that was
it's been a fun year.
heck of a year. Across the board. Only thing I would change this year, yeah, absolutely. There's something I would change. Sorry, I'm reading the comments and I would hopefully draw some more states for that early September. That's the only thing. But I don't have the power to change that, so I didn't get to. I'm gonna jump down to a couple comments and then come back up because some people are commenting about things we're not. He said no, he didn't get harvested. Had him on camera November 13th.
He's in my freezer, so
yeah. Sam Kreuzberg said, "What's y'all's favorite way to cook a we meant to say backstrap?
a black strap.
And then he said, and beaver is better than deer.
See, is he being real?
Yeah, he's told me this.
Okay,
so he's the one that actually told me about this, and I'm still skeptical. But he says if it doesn't come from oak trees, like oak tree, they have like a real bitter, like a bitter, dirty kind of flavor to the meat.
Yeah.
And he said, but if they're like come from a place that doesn't have a bunch of oak trees, they're better in deer. So I haven't fessed up or manned up and tried it, but
I'll try it. Tell him right now. We can trade. I can go get a beaver right now, and he can give me some rabbit dogs. How about that?
I'm trapping this weekend. I need to talk to you about that after this.
Okay.
And then Cole Collins, what's up, buddy? Miss you, dude. He said time to roll up some coyotes. Absolutely. Hopefully starting this weekend. If not, then any day I'll be hitting that. I can't be held back much longer on that side. Cole, I manned up, bought a suppressor, so that's cool. He said, "Let's go," but bought a suppressor, so I'm a real hunter now, real coyote hunter. But
just feed the wildlife over here. Sorry.
He said about time on the suppressor. Yeah. So sorry, I missed some comments on Instagram. Breck Cherries came back and said, I fully agree with not putting them in a book, and I don't post them on social media anymore. But back to my earlier question, is our rifle season in the correct time of year?
like
We
we've been
talked about
saying,
that
it's
a little
preference.
bit before you jumped on. We talked about that, and we both said it could be moved. If you're talking about growing deer, if you want to talk about tradition, it's pretty stuck in a traditional point of year. But I'm willing to, if that's something that everyone wants to give, I'm willing to give up that versus go to $1.
I'm willing, like, yeah, I mean, moving it off of, and it's not the peak of rifle season is, but you catch a good part of it at times. You
It
do.
yeah,
It
it
can
could
be a
be
good
dang near
time.
good as peak.
Yeah. And if you were to move it even when Kansas's is, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, heck.
I mean, just just see the quantity. So you could go look at the archery, which archery is huge right now. I know the Orange Army is bigger, but just look at the pictures posted around rifle of big deer, and what do they all say? God, I'm chasing a doe. God, you know what I mean? And that's if you want bigger deer, you don't want that.
Mm.
You know, that's a heck no. And so it's like if that's what someone's willing to give, yes. But if someone's like, I don't know, is this a hard? I can tell you what I think we need to do, and someone's going to find something wrong. And Gunner could tell you, I might find something wrong with him. Anyone on here could have an idea, but it's just a hard subject, and I don't know why it's such a fought subject on Instagram because nothing's been proposed for it. But I do think a way around it would be getting together, looking at research from what the state has, looking at what other states have, and coming up with a plan versus sit here and block people because they don't agree with your comment, you know? So, and that's everyone when we come to this, when we talk about this stuff, everyone's like, they're talking about, well, there's a page on Facebook. Yeah, they're big because they block everyone else's against it. And the only people on that page for it are for $1. Everyone else that's for $2 gets blocked unless you keep quiet like I have. And
I
I
got
only keep
blocked.
quiet to see, yeah. And that's why it's big. It's just they're building an army of people that agree with that. So all these people are seeing all these people share, and that's how you get votes. Is that you block the negative. You get people against you out of there. And then so if I have an idea and I tell Gunner and he agrees with it and I make a post, if I make a single post, some of my friends are going to see it. If I tell Gunner about it, he likes it and he shares it, my friends, his friends are going to see it. If he has a friend, you know what I mean? It's a domino effect. It just gets out there more. And that's what we're seeing with this page on Facebook is it's just getting out there more because you have all these people that agree on one thing and they're all sharing it. So that's why we're all worried. And he's saying the commissioners are for it. I know people that know commissioners and are like, I've never heard that. So there's that. I don't know. I guess we'll see if they change it. We'll go to $1. That's fine. I'll hunt way longer in the year. But if we can get around it, I'd rather not and figure other things to do. Because based off our herd and size, here's my opinion on $1 too. If you make it $1, that means less deer get shot. We're already having an issue with does. You go to a pond that is overpopulated or overstocked, you catch a bunch of bass with giant heads, tiny bodies. And that's exactly what's going to happen if we keep growing our herd and not taking deer out. And so eventually it's going to stunt things. Well, then it's what do we do now? Well, we're going to be like Tennessee, and it's like you have unlimited does and you kill $2 a week and all this stuff. It's like, so there's something that we have to do to keep the numbers where they are and we can grow deer. What is that? $1 million question. If you have it, also find the way to cure cancer and we'll share it and we'll get rich. So going back to predator hunting, William Ashley Bodie said, y'all doing any coyote tournaments this season or putting one on? We're probably not going to put coyote tournament on. A lot of people around here are doing that. We are probably considering bringing back the pig hunt. A lot of people have had interest in that and maybe doing some other like the crow or something, just something different. Try to bring back the good old days. We kind of stopped for a little bit because of life, but me and Gunnar were just talking last weekend. We need to bring that back. We were somewhere where we did someone for someone and they thanked us, and that just I don't like hearing the thanks. I like years later, people remembering that we made impact, and that's what the outdoors needs to do to people. William said, "We're in the Garber tournament next weekend. Good luck." Is that a day or night tournament? I was looking at the weather next weekend, and I was interested in finding a tournament. Uh-oh.
We can compete maybe in a day tournament, that night tournament stuff. I get some people that know how to do that.
So Breck Cherry came back on Instagram. He said, "With our winter pattern lately, if you move it to the 1st of December, it has to save deer lives." My opinion. I agree with that, but I don't know. Then I'm like, look at the cars hitting the deer. Like, what are we gonna do about that if that's an issue? Anyways, Garber is a day tournament. I'm entered as well. Breck Cherry said on Facebook or on Instagram, and then he also said y'all need to do a big doe contest during holiday and antlerless season. We kind of have friends that do it, and we've talked
We
about
could probably piggyback off them.
trying to make it bigger. Yeah, but I do think we could do one, and then they could do one, and you could double enter. But we've been talking about it, but I think everyone forgets that we are just now get our lives straightened out. You know, we were in college and know what we did. We were moving around. I still moved. Moving still might be in my future again. Who knows? You know, and it's like we were running around. So a lot of this stuff kind of got on the back burner, and we stayed true to what we wanted. But now, since we're kind of put, you know, we're now like, hey, listen, we're finally making the money we wanted as an adult. Probably not enough, but we are making money. It's way more than college kids make. Let's start doing this stuff again, because a lot of that stuff takes money, and when you're eating a bowl of ramen noodles, you really can't afford to put on a tournament. So, but
I'm planning a wedding. Taylor had a big life event happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we've had a baby, wedding, deaths, but we're there. We're here. Let me see. I feel like I saw another one. William did say, backed it up and said that it's a day tournament. The night one is February 7th. See, I'm not interested in the night ones.
not either. I've seen those guys do those, and I mean, we
tear them up.
Yeah.
I'm stingy. I like to watch them move in the daylight. Yeah, I have a thermal, but I like to watch them in the daylight, outsmart them in the daylight. Now, if
we're elitists.
Yeah. Now, if someone calls and says they're having an issue, yeah, I'll take a thermal out there in a heartbeat. But when it comes to calling in coyotes, he said we thermal hunt every weekend, so it's just another night. That's another thing. I feel like there's eventually going to put something on the thermal like Kansas did. Sam Kreuzberg said, "Let's do an armadillo shootout. Biggest stringer with the $25 longest toe."
See, if we're being real, Taylor and I have talked about doing like a critter hunt, but we've also weighed the idea of the backlash we might get from a critter hunt. Because those are the ones that get backlash.
Sam wants an armadillo hunt because he knows I have a freaking armadillo heaven.
That would be funny. That would be creative and funny, but how many people? Sam, do you have an army of people that would do it? Because we'll do it.
Yeah, Breck Cherry, he said, yes, real coyote killers do it under the sunlight. That's right, friend. We don't have to go call them in a dark field. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
each their own. Breck Cherry, I need to look up your Instagram. I don't know if I know you, but we definitely need to meet because you have good ideas. But any other comments? Any other not giant topics? I guess I'll say I did ask a question on Facebook about trapping. I said, do you guys predator hunt or trap? If so, or if not, why? And I know in those comments, a lot of people that aren't going to say why they don't because they don't want to get the hate. But I want to back that with I asked those questions because God, I need to stop reading comments. I asked those questions because I'm doing videos. Gunner and I are doing videos on them. And so I wanted to see some why people don't, because I thought in my mind there would be a lot of people say, oh, I don't trap because money. I don't trap. And I had some sides to go against that, but I didn't see that. However, I'm still going to bring it up in the conversation. But that video will be up in a couple weeks, probably, hopefully next week. I don't know. We're getting the time of all these videos need put up, so it's like if you wait a week for one, and so I don't know. Some video will be about that. We might have to post two, which is fine. But so if you guys see questions on there and it's like a give your answer, be honest. I want to see your guys' side versus my side, and I want to do a video over it. I'll pull in research. I'll ask Gunner, I'll ask whoever I need to for their side, and just trying to push issues around. So, but yeah, we're gonna have 48? Is that right? Yeah, 48 videos a year at least. We're gonna jump on the train and try it for a year. So far, it's been great. We have a 8,000, 10,000, like 2,000 view, and that's great considered we don't have as many subs on Instagram or YouTube as everywhere else. So if you guys have YouTube, haven't subbed, check that out. Zach said, fellas, we need the Thunder to get it together. Hey, we're just resting, dude. It's a cakewalk. We got to rest until the finals.
Hey man, I got something for you, Zach. How is it that OU took one of your receivers? How's that feel?
Hey, he's talking good about the Thunder. Zach's a Thunder fan.
He's also a Texas fan, which
he's a Texas boy. You got to give him a little bit of break.
He could be like a Tech fan or A&M fan.
Breck Cherry said on Instagram, "My unborn child can kill him with a thermal at night."
Millie will be hunting coyotes soon. Next day.
Yeah.
Next.
It might be the call, the way she cries. But I think we're end it here. We had a really good talk tonight. I told Gunner, hey, let's jump on and do like a 30, 45 minute. We'll jump off and go watch the video. But you guys brought up some good topics. I think we covered them pretty well. This will be this week's video. I will re-upload it on Spotify and all that. So if you ask a question and got brought up, share all your friends that you got a shout out. Just kidding. Everyone that said something, we sorry, Zach, shot back at you. But everyone that commented, we pretty much know well. So like Zach, we give him a hard time, but he's our buddy. He said Liver Pebble is gonna be headhunted in the Red River game.
Oh, with what? The 80% of the roster that left because you didn't make playoffs?
Hey, y'all watch out. Oh, she's coming.
In the Big 12, you should be able to compete.
They're headhunting.
Their schedule lines up. Should be a lot better. You should be a lot better. I mean,
yeah, dude, they won 2. They should be a lot better. Let's go to 3.
I think 6 wins would be amazing, but I think the schedule sets up for more.
I just like the fact that a new leaf got turned over, and see what
you've been calling for this for years, though.
I hope Dad's not listening.
Taylor finally got what he wanted for years. Even when they went to the Big 12 title game, Taylor was wanting this dude fired.
I said I wanted to try something else because it ain't it.
Yeah.
So
it finally happened. So Taylor's like happy as a clam about it.
Zach said Texas people are basement dwellers. I can't believe you said that, Zach. Talking about your home state like that.
Oh.
So oh no, my dad's watching. I'm gonna be getting a call after this.
Don't you say one word about Mike.
Zach said NIL has killed college. I agree.
I will say, I think that didn't he leave because Texas basically told him? I think Texas thought they were getting Coleman, so they were like, "We're not going to have enough. You're not going to play as much." Which Livingstone's a young kid. He's like a freshman this year.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to fix the deer hunting in Oklahoma, and we got to talk, and we got to fix the NIL. My dad said, "Crazy! Our land just went up for sale." Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
He wrote you out of the will.
Yeah, it's all right. But all right, we're gonna end it here. Hour and 36 minutes, so it's a great time. It'll be re-uploaded. Send it to your friends. Tell them they're losers for not being here. And have a good weekend. If you're hunting Oklahoma, kill a big one. holler at me so I can see it. If you're in coyote tournament and I'm not in it, good luck. If I'm in it, hopefully like second or third place. And yeah, see you guys later. Before we leave, Zach said, "Does he need a new son?" I'm getting off here, Dad. Zach is a bad guy.